Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Just got done doing our picks.
I was hoping you'd do poetry right there.
Welcome back to Overtime. It's gonna be a grand time. Rhyme time with time. Lime. I'm actually having trouble thinking of other words that rhyme with time right now.
Rhyme.
You're putting me on the spot.
That was the idea. Failed, by the way. Failed the on the spot.
Now I'm like just thinking of words that rhyme with idea or failed or this is a bad train of thought right now. But rivals or champions, did it for North America. Now we're gonna do it for EU. Going with the rosters that people are maybe not thinking about as much, or maybe a few that you are thinking about. I don't know what people are thinking about these days. Got 5 rosters here, same deal. Press the orange button.
Yeah, got him.
I said press the orange button, didn't I? I told them to press the button. Stop it. Stop. Stop
You
being
know
terrible.
what you have
Stop
to do to make
being
it stop.
terrible people right
It's
now.
very
Press
simple.
this one for RLCS, press that one for RLRS. Let's get this started before we just keep the show on air. My goodness. Starting with Excel, Neil Skook, Pondex, and Zenzus. Ready, set, go. Carpet, you gotta defend yourself here.
Do I?
Yeah.
Is that how this works?
We both think that it's the champions.
You guys
and you
attacked
think
me.
differently.
Yep.
Earlier.
How could you possibly think that these guys are not RLCS quality material?
It's not that I don't think they're not RLCS quality material, but when you look at the teams in Europe, and then you look at a roster of teams, a roster of players that I don't think have really played much together, I think it's just going to be difficult. Again, individual skill mixed with team cohesiveness. I think those two are going to battle too hard.
What about?
It's going to be tough.
What about every time there's like a
no.
huge roster swap and none of them have played together?
Yeah, and those teams usually struggle a bit.
this
Some of them
is-
make it, some of them don't.
That's like half the teams.
Yeah, some of them make it, some of them don't.
This is Calnose minus Dan Hizzle. We replaced Dan Hizzle with Pondex, and you think the team got worse?
No. I think there's a lot of other teams out. There's teams they have to beat.
Teams.
There's teams. It's really just more like when I was looking at the entire top 8, it was really hard for me to take another team out and put them in. So they ended up in rivals. Sorry.
I personally look at it and I see like Calnose looked much better than I was expecting them to look preseason. I'll put it that way. There was a team that was like, just kind of snuck into RLCS. They won't do much, and then they actually were looking pretty good through the majority of the season. I think Pondex is considerably a more clutch player than Dan Hizzle is. Love Dan Hizzle, but I think Pondex has kind of been on the pro bubble circuit area for a lot longer. So I think this team's got a good shot at
the
RLCS.
pro bubble circuit.
The pro
How
bubble
could I
circuit,
forgot?
yes.
The
You
pro
know.
bubble circuit.
So many people have made that a career.
Someone make a tournament out there called the Pro Bubble Circuit. Please. Pro Bubble Circuit. That's their intro. We just made their intro. We don't have to work for you. Just
Pop
do the
bubbles.
tournament. What? The Pro Bubble Circuit.
Has nothing
We've
to do with
just done
Rocket
it.
League.
And it's everything to do with Rocket League.
Quinn, you got any other thoughts on Excel here?
I mean, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Kind of great team, and they just got the upgrade with Pondex.
Okay, so I get a little close. Hi.
Hi.
I just realized I was like leaning in.
Oh, aren't you two just adorable? Moving on, the all-British, except for Flarkey Rejects. Longest team name ever. If they make it into any of the leagues, they're going to have to change that name because that's just too long of a name. Doomsy, Flarkey, Florison, Nauman. Ready to go. You again?
Actually, no. I lied. I'm sorry. I swore button.
Okay.
I really did.
Smooth.
Okay.
This is
sorry, I'm
probably
trying.
against my own better judgment, but I'm scared that if Doomsy doesn't make it now, he's quitting, and I need Doomsy to play Rocket League.
So this isn't.
This is my plea to you. I need you, Doomsy. Please make it into the RLCS. I mean, I think if there's ever a time for him to really feel kind of too defeated, now's the time. He's been crushed since season 1. He's crushed all of our hearts since season
He
1.
was 5 points away from laying season 1.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I think like this is the time. He's got Flarkey with him as well. We'd seen Flarkey have pretty solid performance. I know he was kind of again on that I guess what was it called, the bubble
The pro bubble
the
circuit.
pro bubble circuit. I don't know. He was like in the pro.
As a pro on the pro bubble circuit.
He was always up there.
Flarkey was above the pro bubble circuit.
Yeah,
Flarkey was on like
he was for a bit, and then he went up, and then we just hadn't really seen him. Like he'd make it in, and then they wouldn't really perform terribly
Okay,
well.
okay,
That's
okay.
kind of what I mean
That's
by the
fair,
pro
that's
bubble
fair.
circuit, because you
Right.
are a pro, but also like
You're in the bubble circuit.
you're in the bubble circuit.
I just have to say, I'm giving Doomsy more credit than I was giving him earlier. I had him not in anything. I had him out, and then
What?
And then he and I argued about it for quite a while on Twitter, and then eventually I was like, okay, here, I'm gonna give you the credit you're due here, Doomsy. Putting you in the rival series, make me proud. Get higher than that. Get an RLCS. I would love to see these guys make an RLCS because then we have like the leftovers and the rejects in the same.
I know I'm setting myself up to potentially get burned yet again, but I've got faith. Doomsy.
Setting yourself up pretty strong for that too.
I've
I
got
think it's
faith.
rival
I've got
series.
faith because if no one has faith, then what is there? There's just 2 buttons that are different colors.
That is the most religious thing I've ever heard you say. Don't have faith. What is there? Moving on. Frontline. Farah, Bluey, Shalset, and their sub Yukio. Ready, set, go. Oh man, Quinn. No faith in. Did you not see Farah season 3? Come on.
Don't look at my answers.
No,
what are you doing?
At the team rosters.
The team roster's on the screen in front of you. Farah, Bluey, and Shalset.
No. Really, okay. Shalset is a fantastic player. Seriously, just a really good player, but he's very young.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we look at Bluey now, who's also going into his first RLCS season.
We're talking about eSports. Everybody's young. What are you talking about?
Well, I
Sports.
think that they're all going to be good players, but I think that just the combination of them, it just doesn't strike me as like something exceptional. And so Rival Series is nothing to be ashamed of, like you said earlier.
Oh, but you shamed me earlier for putting someone on Rival Series. Now it's like,
I just don't know.
No, it's fine.
I don't know who else you're putting in the top 8.
Man,
It's not a big
I'm
deal.
not allowed
Did
to
you not
change?
see Farah? Did you not see Farah playing in season 3?
No, but I thought Farah was insane at LAN.
Did you see what? What?
But before, I mean,
When he
I just don't think
completely
he's gonna be
dribbled your boy's flip side, he wasn't insane in week number 1?
Well, it's because it's his boy's flip side. No one actually does.
No one ever does anything good against flip side.
What?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
We all know you like flip side here.
So?
And so they reverse
Wait,
sweep.
you telling me you don't like flip side?
They reverse sweep your boy's
You were
flip side
telling
in
me
the week.
yesterday that you like flip side.
Oh, I love flip side, but I'm
You
gonna.
love flip side.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna acknowledge when Farah beats them. He completely
I
took
said
them out
that
over and
was
over
an
again.
insane dribble.
And then he knocks them out at LAN. And you're telling me bookends of the season, you'd be like, nah, he just was good at LAN. They reverse swept so many people
All right,
that
sorry.
season.
I'm sorry that I totally marginalized Farah's entire career and performance. I'm sorry, Farah. I'm sorry.
That's all he wanted. That's all Pharaoh wanted was this apology.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now he's gonna make him there.
Is it, did I make it better? Did I make it better? We're good?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're okay.
Okay, I think just had to nail you to the wall on that one. Of course, that's how the show works. That's my favorite part. Moving on, the Thick Icebergs, best team name ever. Grandmaster Sexy Mike rules and Flummox. Ready, set, go. All right, cool.
All right, moving on.
No.
First of all, I don't know if Thick Icebergs the name was meant to be a tongue twister, but I
Thick Icebergs.
have to not say Thick Icebergs every time. I will 100% say Thick Icebergs. Thick Icebergs at least like 3 times in their broadcast if they make it. I don't know what it is, like thick, and I think they might be spelling it with 2 C's, which is
Yeah, I was saying, why would?
amazing.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
think that might be with 2 C's.
it needs to be with 2 C's.
It needs to be.
Yeah.
Thick Icebergs.
That's the only way you spell it.
I think they should have just spelled it Thick Icebergs. It would have been so much better.
I think that thick iceberg.
Yeah, when we're talking about players that took like a hiatus, Mike Rules is definitely in that conversation. But
Yeah.
Mike definitely has continued to
Yeah.
play in a way that the other ones have not. He took a hiatus from the competitive scene, but I think he stayed active in Rocket League. Still streams quite a bit too.
I think Mike is definitely still an RLCS quality player. I mean, Mike is seriously one of the most talented players I think that's ever played Rocket League. I have so much respect for him, and you can watch. The guy has really kind of taken just a step away from the competitive scene. Not completely, he's still competing, but like you can tell that it's just not his #1 priority, I don't think. And I mean, he still performs incredibly well, and that's difficult to do, especially when you're getting less practice, less scrims, all that good stuff. I think Mike is RLCS quality. I think it's the other 2 here that kind of just don't quite make the cut.
We've seen GMS up there. I like GMS a lot.
Yeah.
It's Flummox that I have the most questions about.
Grandmaster Sexy, I think is what that short's for. I think a lot of it too is like intentionality. Since Mike Rules took a step down from competitive, I don't know if his mind has truly switched on to I want to try and competitive again. So I think attempting a qualifier without the full intentionality of wanting to win and wanting to qualify, I think that just might take a hit in general in their performance. Because I think part of him still really doesn't want to do competitive. I mean, I don't know. I don't speak for the man. I don't actually know.
It's all speculation. Yeah.
All speculation. Because I know we made a big announcement about not wanting to do competitive, and I haven't heard vice versa. So I'm going to assume that could be the same mentality. So I think just like the intentionality of why you're going into
Well, he's
compete.
incredibly competitive. I mean, if you talk to the guy, you can tell right away that guy is like, he does not like to lose.
No. No.
Season 1,
Which
we
respect,
knew,
right?
we
Yeah.
knew before the LAN that he was going to take a step down if they didn't, after Season 1, no matter how anything went. They end up in the finals, and I know that while I wanted iBuyPower to win because we're in North America and it's Kernovi and it's, how great of a story would it be for iBuyPower to win the first LAN, I also, part of me really wanted, for Mike Rules' sake, I wanted him to, and flip side, to take the victory there just because it would have been good. If it's your last time playing, you never want to go out on a loss. We never stop playing when we end on a loss. You keep playing at least until you win.
Or until you lose all your
Yeah, or until you've just
Hoping.
you're so
Humanity.
tilted you have to stop.
So until there's nothing left but 2 buttons.
So while I'm putting him in the rival series here, I really would love to see
Yeah.
Mike make it all the way into RLCS and have a shot at getting that win that I know he's been chasing for so
I mean,
long.
watching him go against Flipside would just be like such a cool moment
that'd be
again to watch him
crazy.
go against his old teammates. I mean, they were the roster for like a year, nonstop.
Yeah.
They were the longest standing unbreakable threes roster. And then when he left, it was a big hit. They ended up, they picked up Greasy, and it was they still performed well. Mike Rules didn't qualify 2 seasons in a row, but to watch them go head to head again would just be like such a cool, almost like a fun, iconic moment of like,
Kind of like that
these
grudge
are your
match
boys.
and everything. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
fun to see
Yeah.
players go against their former teammates because you know that they have just like a better understanding of their teammates, right, than you normally would have against your typical opponent. So like, there's just another level of mind games. That's so much fun to watch, like to see them like battle it out.
All right, well, Mike Rules, hope to see you there. One last team to talk about here, the Juicy Kids. I don't know what I think about that name, but it's a name there. Killer number 7, Stocky, and Coca? Coca, I believe. 1, 2, 3, go. Bring out the green button
Wow.
again. I don't, this.
That was a versatile. Just,
Oh,
yeah,
straight
I
on.
wasn't talking about that.
This is the
that
most
arm
versatile
action.
answer we've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that you had green, I had blue.
Oh, we do have 3
Yeah.
completely different
Look at
answers. Yep.
So, I mean,
I
Would
think
you just look at that? Man, you
It's-
think RLCS? Really?
potentially.
no, that was
Yeah, I know, right?
so authentic.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I was
Relax.
for real here.
I mean, killer number 7. It's really hard to just pick the
killer
guy
number
off and
7's
put him as
great.
a non-qualified. Killer number 7's great. We've seen
agree.
Stocky perform really well. While we haven't seen Coca, I can't imagine they just pick up a third. They wouldn't perform well.
Okay, this is kind of going to go for a lot of the other teams as well. Where like, especially we just spoke Mike Rules. I think that all these players are seriously great, and they could be on RLCS level teams. However, the level of competition we've seen from season 1 to season 3 is
Yeah.
just. It's enormous, the gap that has, appeared between the level of skill there was between these 2 seasons. And so I think that we're going to just see them not really be able to make it all the way back up there. And it's nothing to be ashamed
Yeah.
of. Just people are dope.
I mean, I think it's so tough because the most difficult thing about pretty much all of our answers is that a lot of these teams we've never actually gotten to watch perform in more than like a month's period. Some of these teams were made up weeks prior, maybe a month prior. But even so, like, how am I supposed to qualify a team's integrity with a month? But I genuinely just think, like, after what I've seen Killer number 7 do, what I've seen Stocky do, it's really hard for me not to assume that if they work well, they could easily make top. I don't have to easily, but they could make a top 8 spot if those two work well together.
Killer number 7 is one of those players that I've been like having faith in for a long time, but then he's just like consistently not had the performance I was hoping for him in, or hoping for him to have there. So and Stocky's
We
good
need
player as
killer
well.
number 8.
We need. We need the upgrade. We need the patch update here. No, yeah, he's a little out. My goodness. Anyway, guys, we could talk about this for a long time, but that's going to do it for Rivals versus Champions here. When we come back, Corrupted G on the line, going to talk to him, pick his brain about the RLCS versus the RLRS, about his new roster Equinox. That and more when we come back to Overtime.